Hi everyone, welcome back to JP WHU TV. It's nice to see you. I hope you're keeping well and having a good end to your week. The Premier League is resuming now, so this video is the preview of West Ham's 15th away game of the 23-24 Premier League season, where we travel northeast up to Tyne and Wear to take on Newcastle at St James's Park this Easter Saturday afternoon, 12:30 kickoff, live on TNT Sports. Yes, guys, we have an Easter back in March for the first time in Christ knows how long. As always, guys, this video is sponsored by the channel sponsor, 3retro.com. Please click the link in the description below that will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website. But as you can see from the icon that's up here, there's also retro Newcastle gear in there as well, along with track jackets, polo shirts, sweatshirts and t-shirts made by Admiral and Umbro and Butka, so go check those out as well. Any purchases you make through the link in the description below, the commission that the channel would normally be getting, as I always say, I'll be sending on to the charity Iron Supporting Food Banks. They're based in the Newham area, and they're helping those in the Newham area and the Essex County and further afield for that matter, as they are currently supporting over 60 food banks as of the time of this recording. So guys, go grab yourself a really nice retro shirt. You'll be saving yourself a few quid in comparison to your respective club shop if there's any Geordie fans watching, and you'll be helping those the less fortunate than you and I. But if you can't afford to make any purchases yet, which is totally understandable, bearing in mind it's the Easter weekend as well for that matter, but you still want to make a donation to Iron Supporting Food Banks, there is their Just Giving link in the description. So go click there, send them, tell them JP sent you if you want, not a problem. £1, £5, £10, whatever you can afford. Believe me, guys, it really, really does help. So talking about the descriptions, there's going to be timestamps there as well. So be great for you to stay around as long as possible, but if you can't, then by all means please do jump around to the sections that are down in the line below and give me your thoughts at every time. And of course, please do like, share and subscribe. We've had some people unsubscribe over the last few days, totally fine, so we're still struggling to get back and keeping it at 2,500, so we're literally 8 away as of the time of this recording. So guys, go grab yourself, so by all means please do just click the subscribe button down there. It's completely free. And also hit your notifications bell and set them to all, so you know when new content is going up, which is going to obviously include the watch along this weekend. So keep your eyes peeled. So guys, let's start off by the remainder of the video by talking about the officials, as we always do. The referee for this game is Rob Jones. His assistants are Ian Hussin and Wade Smith. On fourth official is Darren Bond. On VAR we have David Coote once again, and his assistant is Eddie Smart. So with the exception of the guys on VAR, granted, they seem to be replacing their either assistants or main. I'm not really aware of anybody. I don't really know who Rob Jones is. I recognise that we've seen him a couple of times so far this season. So he's a relatively new referee. But at the same point, guys, you know, it's not really that. I can't really think of anything to say. But hopefully, as he's relatively new, he's going to be a lot more impartial, shall we say, in comparison to the previous referees. Now, our last 6 away trips to St James's Park show, we won twice, drawn twice and lost twice, scoring 12 and conceding 11. Up until very recently, it's been a real mixed bag for Moyes, as his winning his record there is winning 4 times, drawing 5 and losing 6. Now, Newcastle are back to how Newcastle should be in terms of the bigger picture, because obviously the money from the Saudis doesn't indicate everything. Yes, okay, they've got a lot of injuries, which we'll talk about at the moment. But as we are the start of the weekend games, they are 10th in the table after 28 games, winning 12 times, drawing 4 times and losing 12 as well, scoring 58 goals and conceding just 48. So on the plus 11 goal difference on 40 points. Now, obviously they had a bit of a stuttering start to their Champions League campaign. Brilliant results at the start of it, but just unfortunately couldn't get through the qualifying rounds. But Newcastle are very similar to us in a lot of ways, pushing for Europe. Very similar fan bases. You know, they've got a great record in Europe. As I say, pushing. You know, we're all relatively the same sort of people. I know a lot of Geordie fans I've met over the years that absolutely love West Ham, and I know a lot of West Ham fans that love the Geordies as well, for that matter. Because as I say, because we have that common ground in terms of the fan base and how the club's been screwed over by, in our case, current and previous, and with Newcastle so far at least, the previous owners. But in terms of their home form, they've won 9 times, drawn twice and lost 3, scoring 34 and conceding just 16 goals. They're on plus 18 goal difference at home, and of their last 5 results at home in the Premier League, they've won once, drawn twice and lost twice. Now, as we remember, they have a very higher squad than we do, 28-man squad versus our 21. But at home, their highest goal scorer is Anthony Gordon on 8 goals and 3 assists, followed very, very closely by Isaac, who is on 7 goals. Their highest home assister so far this season is Kieran Trippier with 4 assists and 1 goal, who is on par with Soufal in terms of assists for this season. It's mad that we're saying that, but he is out injured until the end of the month with what appears to be a minor calf injury. Their highest home aerial dueler so far in the Premier League is Lascelles with an average of 4.8 aerial duels won per game. So let's turning into injuries. Botman is out until around about New Year's Eve due to recovering from knee surgery he's had recently. Miley is out until the late stages of May due to lower back problem. Callum Wilson, fortunately, is out at the moment with a pectoral injury, and is out with around about the same time as Joe Linton, who's out with a thigh injury. Both of them are expected to be back around about the middle of May. Nick Pope is out with a shoulder injury, and Barnes is out until the end of the month, as well as Pope with a thigh injury. And Livramento is also out for around about that length of time due to a twisted ankle. Now, in terms of suspensions, Tonali is out as he's still being investigated by the Italian FA. So I don't really know the ins and outs of it, so I'm not really going to go into it in all that much detail. Now, turning to West Ham, of course, we've got a bit of a problem. Alvarez is suspended until the Wolves game due to picking up 10 yellows so far this season, and of course he was suspended in the he picked up a yellow card, so he'll be suspended for the Bayer Leverkusen game for the first leg away in a few weeks' time. So there's a lot of conjecture. I've already done a video about who I want to get you to give information on who you want to be playing in defensive midfield in his position. If you haven't already done so, please go and check out the video, which is in the card up here. Now, Cornet is still being assessed. Is being assessed with his hamstring injury. Looks like there's no real chance he's going to come back for this game, unfortunately. Kudus missed out on international duty with Ghana, because he appears to have picked up a knee injury, but he seems to be 50% at the time of this recording. But it looks like the club is going to be hopeful that he will be fit. So, yeah, if he is fit, which I'm pretty much guessing that he will be. Now, this makes the starting 11 conversation even more interesting, as I say, because we've got Alvarez who's out suspended for basically 3 games. This game, Spurs, and the Bayern Leverkusen game. So I don't think I think we do play in the Premier League before that game, but yeah, it's conjecture. Now, I basically in the video I asked, do we go with the default, which is going to be Phillips or Souček, or do we bring in a junior or convert anybody? Now, thank you to everybody that can convert somebody like, for example, Aguerd to be a defensive midfielder. So thank you to everybody that has made their comments on that video and watched it. But I don't think you guys... I think you might be a little bit surprised with the starting 11 that I've put in there. I mean, obviously, Areola's coming back in goal, as he always does for the Premier League. It looks like Emerson's probably going to be... Should more be fit now. So this is the starting 11 that I would put out if I was in charge of David... I keep saying in charge of David Moyes. In being in charge of West Ham United. Areola in goal, with the back four of Soufal, Mavropanos, Casey and Emerson. Earthy in the hole, with James Ward-Prowse in front of him, supporting Antonio, Paquetá and Kudus, with Bowen up front. So you might be looking at starting 11 and thinking, JP, why the hell are you putting Earthy in there? Well, to be honest with you, I've done some research after I did that video, a lot of stuff, and Earthy has actually played in defensive midfield for the under-21 squad a few times. I can't think of anyone better than that, to be honest with you. I've always been bringing in Casey ever since I wanted to Aguerd out. So, of course, it has never happened because David Moyes has never done it. But at the same point, I do think we should be giving more juniors time to try and establish themselves in the squad, especially bearing in mind the players that are going to be leaving and or sold in the summer transfer window coming up in the next couple of months, or 3 months really. Yeah, this will be very, very interesting to see what you guys do. But always put your comments in the comment section below. As I say, I know this is never going to happen. It never does. You know, I've called it right 100% a couple of times, but I don't try and predict what David Moyes is going to do. I always say this is what I want to do, what I want to see. Totally different. But as always, guys, thank you very, very much for your time. As I say, please do subscribe to the channel to try and get us back to 2,500. And hopefully we'll be able to keep it there, because there's going to be a lot more content coming up over the next few days and weeks, as well as we're coming towards the end of the season. I say we will be live for the watch along on Saturday lunchtime from around about 20 past 12, give or take. But yeah, guys, in the meantime, enjoy your weekend and the end of your week. I hope to see you on Saturday lunchtime. But in the meantime, if I don't, then I'll see you very, very soon. All the best now. Take care.